And we're live.
Oh, I got to go.
Lockdown Level Up, day 25. And you may, if you're watching live on Facebook, you may notice that my wonderful co-host Danny is not here tonight. She passes on her apologies.
Grow a beard.
So I've pulled in the troops. You may recognise Rob if you've listened to our season 2 chats, challenge chats. He's one of the challengers. So he was on podcast last night and has been on for several weeks. And then I've got a newbie for you. If you're a James Smith Academy member, you would not know of Nico. But he is a man of the town in Bristol. He's a good friend of mine, very good friend. And I've spent all afternoon with him, and we chatted a lot of shit then. So we're going to chat some more shit this evening. Your Lockdown Level Up's been all about growing, and we will chat shit tonight. But there's maybe some experience that we can tap into. Rob is an experienced project manager, and Nico is a serial entrepreneur. And owns, operates a building firm, and has challenging himself in the hospitality industry by opening a bar during COVID. So we might be able to see if some of that insight comes through. Let's chat shit. Maybe let's start with it's Black Friday weekend. Have you bought any random things online? Have you bought any random stuff that you thought I never needed that, but I needed it during Black Friday weekend?
I've got a couple of things in shopping baskets, but I haven't clicked buy yet.
It's very reserved.
Yeah. I'm scoping them out, but obviously I've only got 3.5 hours to make that decision.
So what are those? Any things like you think?
So one is really exciting, and is a new slow cooker, because mine turns out to be over 15 years old, and I'm not sure that it's now a slow cooker. I now just think it's like something that cooks over a period of 3 days. So I'm going to replace that. And the other thing is exciting, and kind of related to this actually, is a mic for podcasting.
Ooh,
nice.
tell us more.
Oh, I'm gonna keep that bit quiet for the moment, but there will be something coming.
Maybe an announcement. Nico, you were nodding.
I bought your Christmas present.
Oh no! This is. I've seen the type of presents you buy for people.
On a Black Friday, yes, it was. Yeah, I couldn't resist.
Well, I have lost weight, so I did need a new gimp suit.
Oh shit! I might need to send it back and get a different size, but it's the present that counts, does it?
It's the thought that counts. Is
the thoughts, yeah.
As long as it's spendable and I can return it for cash, we're good.
I'm sure it could.
My Christmas present. Now I'm intrigued. I wasn't going to buy you a Christmas present. Shit. No, people say that, don't they? When they're like, "Yeah, I've got your Christmas present," just to make sure that you're already thinking of buying theirs.
What did I buy? I bought an ice machine for the pub, and quite funky, very cheap. Don't know if it was a Black Friday or no, but it does ice, and that is all I need. So it's there. And
how is an ice machine funky? Does it light up? Does it fires off?
Yeah, exactly like that. It's got a blue light. When I try to find out what the blue, when you open the little lid and you can access the ice space, is the blue light is totally useless, but they advertising it as makes it look clean.
You could rewire it, put a little disco ball in there, so when you open it, it's like disco ice.
Yeah, that sounds like a brilliant idea. Yeah, I go.
Pass that over to your business partner. Give him something to do.
Oh God, no, please.
No, don't give the business partner anything more to do. That's cool.
What have you bought then?
How about
Black Friday'd it? Out of stuff?
Oh yeah, I bought enough food for the next 3 weeks.
That wasn't on a Black Friday. We just ordered takeaway, and I ordered them one meal for every day for this week, so I don't have to go shopping. It was healthy Jamaican food.
There's a joke there. You're making me happy.
What did I did similar to you. I put a load of stuff in a shopping basket. Then I went back to it this morning, and it was empty. And I was like, I spent ages putting all the right stuff in there, and it was like some supplements.
Did you click buy now?
I said, no, it's buy it now. Nico can tell us all about his buy it now experiences of 3 a.m. It's dangerous, isn't it? Buy it now.
It's dangerous, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I'm over that because it was a bit out of order. But and I end up with all this random stuff. I don't even know what they're for, but they seems a good idea 3 a.m. And
I think actually, Nico, that's quite, everybody's spending money on Amazon at the moment. Some of my Black Friday purchases was I bought some new ink for some pens that I found in a bag. So I bought over years. I've had an addiction for pens and notepads, and I found a bag of pens. It was a Tesco bag, and it's full of pens. And I was going through it, and I found some of my nice pens, expensive pens. They'd all run out of ink. So instead of using all the pens I've got in the bag, I bought new ink for my pens.
So instead of using the pens you have, you spent more money to buy ink for the pens that run out.
Yeah, but these are nice pens.
But you've got pens that work.
Yeah, no, it's the stupid random purchases. But anyway.
You know why that fell out of your shopping basket? That's the universe telling you did not need to buy all that supplements because you just bought ink for pens you don't need.
Yeah. It was said, you don't need to spend money. And actually, I've got a whole lot of protein powder and everything in my cupboard anyway, so I didn't actually need any of them. It was lit up by the Black Friday offers. But so, Nico, I know the story, but not the story, but I know how you solved waking up at 3 a.m. and completing your purchases.
Okay, over my addiction, yeah.
How did you get over your addiction?
I was putting myself to sleep on. I use eBay just to make a bit more.
Nobody uses eBay anymore.
Yeah, but
they do.
We've got 2 eBayers.
Yeah, and just with my phone, scrolling through items I wanted or I was fantasizing about it, and fell asleep when I've been comparing all night. 3 a.m, fell asleep, wake up in the middle of the night, and I got a page open, and I said, "Oh yeah, that's the one I want. Buy now," and I buy that item. Plus all the other I've been buying throughout the day, and maybe even falling asleep twice during the night and wake up twice and buy, until every day I was coming back from work and I had like 3, 4, 5 parcel every day, like maybe even something like 2 quid, 3 quid, 5 quid, nothing major. And it was like exciting. Wow, Christmas every day. Easy. You open all these, you unwrap all those parcels, and you go, "Oh wow, thank you. I fancy that." Until I said, I came back one day and I got these 3 or 4 parcels in front of me, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna open them until I remember what I bought. And I couldn't remember what I bought. So I said it wasn't that important, was it? And I managed to stop it, but I was around like 700 quid a month in very, very several little purchases. So all made up of 2 quid, 3 quid, 5 quid, and of course most of the stuff is something you don't really. So yeah, I'm over that. I'm clean.
Clean. I think I do, but that's a good way of stopping you buying. I'm not allowed to open this parcel to remember what it is. And, I like that as a technique. And Nico's other business. So Nico and I've been trained and qualified by Nico in auricular acupuncture. So, which is ear acupuncture. Auricular just means ear, but it's used in the world of addiction, Nico. Quite a lot in the world.
Addiction, pain, and everything comes with. But we do teach quite a lot in the rehabilitation center, but it's are the consequences of drugs and abuse. So the pain, stress, anxiety, sleeping problem, that's the real the real topic we're talking about. And the drugs is just the cause of the pain or just the cause of the stress or anxiety. How did you find the training?
It was brilliant. It was three long days of your learning. I think a lot of my learning came from having it as a client first.
Well, you had it a few times, yeah.
So you're able to experience the benefits of it, and that's what got me interested in having the training. And an amazing, I think partly it, and meditation. You and I, Rob, were speaking about meditation quite a lot the other night. But when somebody puts 5 needles in your ear, so I'm just showing that I've not practiced it for a long time, in your ear, and you're sat in a chair, you can't go anywhere for 30 minutes. So unless you walk around town looking all good, and it's not good for a practitioner to let you leave because.
Oh, right. I thought it was like you put 5 in, you can't move for half an hour because you're paralyzed. I was like,
no, it's just a bit more not advisable to leave when you've got 5 pins in your ears. And I think a big benefit of it is it forces you to sit there for 30 minutes and deal with your own thoughts.
Yeah.
We don't often do that, do we?
There's a study to say that's one of the really hard things for humans to do now is sit in boredom, and do it. And actually, there's been experiments with soundproof rooms, right? So completely soundproof rooms, and you sit in it. So the only thing you can hear your own digestive system working. People go mad after about 5 minutes. They just start losing the plot because they can't hear.
But that is the principle of mindfulness, is it? There is nothing you can do right now. It's like an example I always do is imagine you got some issues with your bank. Okay, yeah, maybe it's different now. We got online banking. You can probably anytime. Let's think at the olden time where you can only go to the bank on a Monday morning. So why should you worry about your bank statement tonight on a Sunday night? It's nothing you can do. But if you are able to put that aside for tonight, you're not going to have such a hard time tonight, and then you will be fresh to deal with it tomorrow morning. So when you're doing the acupuncture, it's the same. You sat there for that half an hour. You can't really answer your phone because you're gonna shower all those needles up in your brain, and you're not really gonna interact with other people because you don't want to disturb the session. So you're very limited. You're not disturbed from the doorbell, or you're not gonna get up and make a cup of tea or walk down in town. So automatically you're very limited on what you. I don't want to use the words allow because I don't force anybody to having it, to receive the acupuncture, but you're really limited on what you can actually do. And most of the time you're left with your own thoughts. And after 10, 12 minutes, you even process all those thoughts. So you kind of got those really pleasant, empty, place to be, very relaxing, because there is not much to think about, there is not much to do about, and that is when the the needles start working after 12 minutes, by the way. So you really got the best after 10-12 minutes, where the combination of the needles, the acupressure, and yeah, I was a total skeptical when I got offered the training over a decade ago. I was like, I don't believe in the black magic, you know. And I got talked through it. It's like, you know, I was off work, I had a chronic back pain, and somebody, being a foreigner, I don't know if you notice, I'm not from Bristol. I've been explaining.
Wales from? I'm detecting Wales.
North Wales, yeah. And yeah, I got told, you know, in UK you can, if you don't work, study is very cheap, and so I took over the course, and it did very good to me. I done all the process. I received it. I did the training. I did the next level and the next level. Became an assistant trainer, a trainer, and then when the acupuncture school was kind of in a financial crisis due to all the government cuts, I took over the school, and I just do it as a passion. I mean, yeah, there is a bit of money involved, but to pay cost. But Alistair did the training, and so many other people, they never thought they would, you know, access it, and they all loving it, and they're still talking about it, and it's quite good. You can do. I hope you don't mind me to say, but you called me some time ago and said, "Oh, I feel a bit stressed. Can you stick a needle in my ears?" You know, so you know, it's people still recognize that as a way to deal with everyday stress. You know, so
yeah, and it was a case of, you know, I need some release.
Yeah,
and you know, what can I do? Yeah, I can go and get some auricular acupuncture, and
it's natural, so you don't have any kind of substance, whether it's legal or illegal, put in your body, is it? So you don't have a prescribed medication, you don't have you know, a drink, or so it just literally, you just made the most of what is already in your body. So
and yeah, I would highly recommend that. I'm not sure what how available it is across the UK or worldwide, but you know, if you're ever in Bristol, and you know, I'm available. Nico would be available. We can always make it happen. But yeah, I think there's a lot in it just to, you know, find some peace. The old ladies that used to come along to the Friday sessions, you know, they had found it partly it was about their coffee morning time, but it was also they needed it. They say, "Oh, I didn't come last week, and my hands and the arthritis in my hands have been so sore since." You know, they felt the benefit of it with the pain release just in that. You know, there was people there with alcohol addiction, you know, drug addiction. Some people that were just had pain, you know, stress from having been in the army, or you know, people with lots of different needs for it that were finding benefit, and people you would never think would be sat in a room like that. You think it's quite a hippie or holistic thing, and then you see the guy who you might have walked past in the street and be judgmental about, or you know, it's very mixed group.
Hopefully we're going to be able to restart it again. I mean, I don't do it anymore, as I only do the training, but the session is being suspended for you know, for the COVID, how are you calling it, regulation, social distance. But I'm sure if we go back to normality, when we're going back to normality, it will be more than happy to starting again, and we got a practitioner in place. So yeah, perhaps you can advertise it on here, and also because the other benefit of that session, okay, is a low cost session. So you know, very accessible, very affordable. So anybody can pretty much access it. So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, it's a long time away. Got very deep and meaningful there. This is meant to be.
Have you tried acupuncture, Rob?
Not of the ear. I've never walked in anywhere and gone, "Get me in the ear." I've had it. I was a massive skeptic. I was a massive skeptic of it. I suffer from like slight curvature of the lower spine, so scoliosis. And I used to have really bad back pain. I went to an osteopath, and she was like, "Do you mind if I do acupuncture?" And I was like, "Go on then." And yeah, like I've had it release so much pain so quickly, like one needle, and you sort of go as it goes in, and you put it out, and you just have this rush of release. And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm a believer. I would have I do have regular sort of once a month acupuncture on my back, just because it helps. Otherwise, it's painful."
If you like that, I try, you know, be in that field for many years. As we used to do we done it also, we done everywhere around Bristol. You know, I done rehabilitation center, I done Hamilton House above the canteen, I done many different places. We used to do in swap therapy, so you know, all the practitioners meets up in a room and they spend a couple of hours and get to know each other, get to know you're doing a massage, he's doing yoga, that. So everybody's is gonna have a go on their therapy. And I had shiatsu. So shiatsu massage is based on the acupressure point. So it's the same points you will put a needle in, but it's actually gets stimulated with pressure combined with a massage. And it's like, it really suits me. All the massage I had, sports massage, injury massage, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. If you find somebody who knows what they're doing, you can't beat a shiatsu massage. So highly recommended.
And yeah, therapy. So you've got 3 blokes on a podcast with freedom to chat about whatever they want.
They talk about therapy,
and we're talking about therapy. So, yeah, and I, having done yoga every day for the last, sort of 23, 24 days, no more than that, 26. Anyway, a few days in a row, I can definitely see the benefits of doing that. You know, and as a 6'8" man, real man, you know, to say you're doing yoga.
Hang on, can you define what real man is?
Is that you're
on the spot.
It's funny actually, because I journal daily, as you know, Al, but that is a form of therapy. Having that conversation with yourself every single day is a form of therapy.
when having a conversation with yourself, when does it go from therapy to we probably need to give you therapy?
That's when you start licking the window. No, I think it's like how you approach it. You can get stuck with stuff, but I think you realise more points where you can't work things through yourself. You go, okay, yeah, I probably need to speak to someone about that, or find external influence or understanding.
It's a very, I think it's very good that 3 men can come on a podcast and talk about that and put it out into the world to say that there's lots of different methods to help you.
You know, I found it very. I went to the builders conference in NIC in Birmingham a couple of years now, and the 40-50% of the speeches are all about mental health and how to prevent it, what to do, how to recognize it, because there is, especially men, there is quite a big, especially on a building site, it's all about the macho man, is it? I'm a builder, I'm big, I'm macho, I'm working outdoor, I'm not really going to talk about my feelings, is it? Otherwise the colleague will take the piece, or will push me or bully me or whatever. but it was amazing the amount of mental health material there was in a building conference. So at one point, I didn't know if I was there to checking out a break or to talk to a psychiatrist. You know, it was so quite good is actually happening. And this country, I have to say, I can compare it with country I'm from. This country is very open to therapy, is very open to to be in contact in you know with your inner self, to be able to discuss it, to be able to reach for help, and when you try to reach for help, the help is available. So really, really good.
I think
got a massively high rate of suicide, my male suicide. That's like a figure that's batted around all the time, but I think there's still, I wouldn't say a stigma over mental health now. I think there is still an element of toxic masculinity of guys going, I'm not going to talk about my issues, I can handle it. And I think that's what needs to be met now.
I think and I'm obviously only seeing it from a male side, but it's obviously promoting men talking about their mental health, but I would say, okay, we know that women tend to talk with other women about their mental health, but as men, I don't think I understand what issues women face so much around mental health, because it's been so much speak about men's mental health that I'd quite like to know what struggles women have with mental health. I know there's lots around, struggling to be recognized in the workplace, and dealing with being mothers, but what are the women should talk about it quite more as well. I think to men, maybe men need to talk about more of women with it, but I think the more people share around their mental health, and not just how they're feeling, but what the triggers are, so other people can recognize with that and associate themselves with those triggers, is it's so important to try and, the more we talk about it, the more that we bring it out, the more that more people understand and know that they're not alone, is really important. But I think sometimes with therapy, it's not necessarily going, and I can speak about this personally, because I went to lots of different therapies seeking for an answer to the issues I was facing, which was severe deja vu. But what I realized was none of those things were going to give me an answer. They gave me methods to support me to be able to deal with it. There was never going to be this happens because of this. It was just ways of managing it, ways to limit the stress. And one of the analogies that I saw very, very recently, it just made it so clear. So if you're not watching on Facebook or YouTube later, I'll try and be as descriptive as possible, but if you've got a bottle or a can and you put it, and it's empty, and you put it underneath the tap, and the tap's running into the can, and it's slowly filling up with water. So you imagine the water going in is stress, all the types of incoming stress that we have, job, relationships, money. It's constantly trying to fill up with the stress, the incoming stress. And eventually that bottle or can is going to fill up to the top, and eventually that'll overflow. And that's when we experience the effects of too much stress. What we need to do is try to release that stress in some ways. So if you imagine being able to drill a hole in the side of the bottle or the can, and maybe imagine that hole as metaphorically being exercise, that releases a little bit. So the water going in is starting to leak out. that might help a bit, but eventually that still might not be enough. It still might overflow. So you put another hole in the can, and that might be meditation, and that releases a bit more. But eventually the incoming stress might be still more than what you can leak out. So you look for another form of release. That might be talking with a friend, and that releases a bit more. And then another hole, which might be seeing a therapist. Nico, your background's blurring out your notepad.
I'm trying to get something on the screen, but probably with the background doesn't. Can you see that?
No.
All right, I'll leave it.
So again, you need to look for, because stress incoming comes from multiple places. You need to look for multiple ways of the stress relief, and they all might just be a small contributor to releasing the stress. But the more you do for the stress relief, the better, and then you can balance the incoming with the outgoing, which will then give you the balanced life that we all seek.
Very, very similar way. It was you imagine you down in the pit, so down lower rock bottom, and you try to get back up at the top. Okay, so you put this little line, and there is talking to a friend, and another line, and there is medication, sleeping more, eating properly, exercise, acupuncture, whatever, and that becomes your ladder. Each one of those things you're doing becomes a little step. So the more you do, and the combination of all of them creates a ladder to get you out from the low down place you are in. Of course, and if you only do once of those things, perhaps are not enough to get you at the top. Because imagine having a ladder with only one step halfway through, you can't really reach it, and it doesn't take you nowhere. So yeah, you need to do a combination of things. That is one of the things we teach in acupuncture. It's not a magic wand. Don't expect you go into the pub and drink 10 pints every night, and then you come and have acupuncture, and boom, and you sorted. It's not really a miracle, but the combination of several things you can do could potentially lead you to sobriety, or pain-free, or stress-free. So yeah, I totally agree. You need to let it out somewhere, do you? You need to find your way to deal with that.
I think there's a big one as well is that water coming in, like you can deflect some of that by changing your perspective. And I was actually taught that by one of the JSA lot. We'll go into it another time, me and Al. And they said to me, like, the only thing, like it's written here, the only thing that will change your life is your perspective. And at that point in my life, I was really low. And I remember that instance happening and me going, what's wrong with my perspective? And then that was I think that could be a massive change when you reframe that stress and realize some of it doesn't actually need to stress you out. You can't control things. You need to walk away from those things or stop trying to control them.
I saw what I felt was quite a powerful video on Instagram from Paul Mort. And some people have got opinions of Paul Mort, and other people have got different opinions of Paul Mort. But he's got quite a unique way of explaining things. And what I really liked about this video was he was talking about, if you want to know why you're at your current position, look at your old habits. So if you want to know why you are where you are now, look at what you were doing previously, the habits that you built up. So if you're in a place where you're struggling with sobriety, it's because your habit was to drink too much. And then he flipped that and he said, okay, so if you want to know where you're going to be in the future, look at your current habits. What am I doing now will tell me where I'm going in the future. And I was like, I just felt that was so simple way of it. And, I posted that to my story today, that I just thought, wow, I've never even thought about it. We all think about my plan. What am I going to do in the future? All these things I'm going to change, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Well, what am I doing right now? Because that's already going to tell me, because it's going to take me 21 days minimum to change my habits.
Yep.
So what I'm going to do today is in 21 days' time, will tell me where I am. So
I think you've got habits as well that you don't even realise. Do you know what I mean? I think there's things that we do automatically that is a habit that you don't even get is affecting you in some way. So I think we as humans don't see the ramifications of some of our actions, if you see what I mean. Or is that like way too confusing?
no.
It's funny you mentioned that 21 days because it's part of the hypnotherapy to spend 21 days uninterrupted to be positive. And if in these 21 days you break the being positive, you're actually going back to square one. That is why lots of people struggles, because they can't make it to 21 days. So the moment you can tell your brain to be positive, even if you have to fake it to make it, but for 21 days you're positive, then you break the cycle. But the moment you go back thinking negative, then even if you are at day 15, you go back. You have to restart. You need another 21 days to get back. Yeah.
Seen that done with the wristbands. Every time, like you do it for 21 days, you put the wristband on, like, and then if you, I'm not gonna swear, mess it up and go negative, you switch the wristband onto the other wrist.
Good idea. And you can get your logo, personal accountability on the wristband, and Panigada property maintenance on the other side.
I'd have the amount of things I'm involved in. I'd have the bands on my head, bands on my arm, bands on my heels.
Hang on, if you're gonna have a band on your head, where are you gonna put it if it goes that thing goes wrong? Like what, you're just gonna have it at a slightly like jaunty angle. Like
hanging from my ears a lot. I'd look even more stupid than I do now.
What you been up to today, Rob?
Me? What have I done? I went on a big walk today with my mate Alan. I found a big tower. That was good. And this thing that I've driven past for ages is actually a monastery, a nun's monastery. I don't know, that's a thing. But I actually walked past it and was mindful enough to stop and look at what it is. And it's beautiful. You can actually see over the sort of wall, and the architecture is beautiful. You know, went for a walk through country parks, put the world to rights. It's good. And then I played a lot of games and cooked a roast. It was a good day.
That's good. We done a bit of that today, did we?
Yeah, and the same things, the amount of things that we noticed just by walking around and being at a slower pace and taking in the things and, you know, taking pictures, stopping and sitting and looking at what the city looks like from a different perspective, I guess. We were, you know, in areas we wouldn't normally just hang out in. Nico showed me this bar, which is called the Bag of Nails, which apparently is famous in Bristol. So it's funny how you live somewhere sometimes you don't even know about the famous places. It's quite good sometimes to go out and be a tourist in your own city or your own town. But he showed me this bar which is full of cats. It's literally full of cats. Like if it's open, I mean, it was open for takeaway today, but if it's open, you can go and sit in there and just be around all these cats.
Yeah, you order a pint, and the guy said, "Can I have a pint of bitter? Yeah, you want a cat as well? No, just a pint, please." Because it's literally got cats everywhere, and of course they reproduce quite quickly, as you know. And but it's quite famous. People travel there to, you know, it's very tiny. You're not gonna stay there all night. You're just gonna pop in for one drink and go. But yeah. Quite. And Wes, did we read a bit of history about the meaning of money on the nails? Yeah.
So in two perspectives, the word nail has come up. The Bag of Nails, which is the pub, and putting money on the nail. Have you heard that, Rob?
No. So you're going to hammer this point home, though.
Oh dear. Well, when you say, okay, put the money on the nail, so the nail is so at the marketplace. Traditionally, you have what can only be described as look like a barrel top, but that was where the traders would stand with the customers, and the customers would come and negotiate a price with the trader for, the cotton, the whatever they were buying in the marketplace, and you would negotiate a price, and as soon as a deal was agreed, you would agree it by saying, okay, on the nail.
Money on the nail, yeah. Once
Money
the
on the
money
nail.
has the nail, the deal is over. There is no stepping back. There is no, it's like shaking hands or
Gentleman's agreement or whatever. So
and
yeah,
they still there outside San Nicolas market. You still have for they looks like a table, quite up. You're doing from standing up, I guess, and they still there. Quite. I bet not many people know that.
I didn't know it. There was bits I pieced together, but yeah, there's
I just made it up. I didn't.
One of those things where your dad
true.
gets you with a whole story or whatever, and they talk about it, and you're like, really? Wow! And he goes, no, it's all bollocks, you dickhead.
No, it's true.
Oh, what about that joke you told the other day? What was the one?
Oh, just so Nico, I've been offered 8 venison legs for £68. Is that too dear?
Oh, I'm going. The cafe just opened. I'm gonna go get a coffee after. Sorry.
Correct answer, Nico. Correct answer to that.
So yeah, basically, my dad got me with that many years ago when I phoned him up and said, "Why the fuck are you asking me?" And he was like, "Read the message and phone me back."
You do realise I'm using that tomorrow morning. There's 2 people I work with that is going to go down horribly. They're going to do that thing where they go, oh, and that noise to me says that they really enjoy that joke. So I'll continue.
Yeah, and, shit dad jokes are definitely.
What's that? It's where comedy's at, really, isn't it?
I'm the age I could be a dad, so maybe that gives me a full right to be able to use them. Or do you actually have to be a dad to use them?
Or is it that dads have to make them up and then we can use them? And then it's like a dad joke because it's made up or told by a dad.
But what if somebody makes up a bad joke, but they're not a dad? Is that just a bad joke instead of a dad joke?
Yes.
Okay. I'm full of bad jokes.
Perhaps you can send your answer to personalaccountability.
You plugged me earlier, and now you're making me look like a fool. So I know I do that by myself. Yeah. I'm aware that a lot of these podcasts do run too long sometimes, and people like a nice short. But I've kind of loved this conversation, and we set out to not really have. There's no subject. There's no point, and we've had a really deep and meaningful conversation for a Sunday night. But yeah, maybe I'll get these guys back on at some point, and we'll have some different chats. I've enjoyed it. What about you guys? And Nico, the first time on?
Yeah, I can. Sun is shining. I'm sat here chatting shit with 2 mates. What can I wish more? Anytime.
So brilliant.
When the cafe is open, because I really want a cup of coffee.
If you're only listening on podcast, Nico has a background which shows him in the sunshine environment next to a cafe, but it's 9:05 on the Sunday evening and it's 2 degrees outside. So, sometimes you just need to make yourself feel that you're on holiday.
Yeah.
Like sometimes if you go in the car and you turn the aircon up to 28 degrees and put like the summer tunes on, if it's nice and bright outside, you can feel like it is summer.
That's how I felt today in your car with Jamaican food, 28 degrees, and some black music. It was like, yeah, great. Come there.
Rob, so a bit different to a Saturday night, but you enjoyed it?
Yeah, it's good, mate. It's always I think we always end up having quite deep chats anyway, but it's nice to sort of just have no subject really and just let it evolve. See what happens.
Shoot
the shit.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much to everybody who's listened, and let me know your thoughts of different formats. I love doing them all, and yeah, the episodes are just creeping up. This is my life now. So yeah, happy Sunday, and we will be back tomorrow. Hopefully Danny will rejoin us. If not, I'll pull in some other random people. Otherwise, I might just chat to you for 20 minutes. So yeah, happy Sunday. Speak to you all later.
Bye-bye. Happy days.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Happy days.
All right.
Ciao.
Ciao.